when you go shopping for an air conditioner, there's a rating in America called BTUs, basically a measurement of the cooling capacity of the air conditioner. And a certain amount of BTUs can cool a certain amount of square footage. And I know in different parts of the world, people measure space and cooling in different units. But the bottom line is when you buy something such as an air conditioner, you're trying to make sure that the amount of power in the cooling system has the capacity to handle the size space that you're trying to cool. And I find it interesting that in life, to live our best life, because to live your best life, you got to put some thought, some effort. If you don't, then, life's just going to be harder than it needs to be. It's already hard, but you want to try to make it better. Good to see you, Andre. Andre says, how are you doing? Yeah, overall, I'm doing good. Why? Because I'm in Florida. That's where I want to be. Finding out where you want to be and then getting there is one of the key ingredients to your best life. Now, to get here, I had to live in my car 2 winters in New Jersey and still suffering a little bit, sleeping around at campgrounds and truck stops and trying to figure out how this settles out for me. And part of that process is figuring out how much I can take. I often look at the square footage of every home base that I'm going to get or possibly get, because I can only handle so much to take care of for me to live my best life. And I obviously look at the price. Everyone looks at the price because there's only so much you should want to take on financially, because you can afford a lot of things if you push your limit. But if you push your limit, it's like having a air conditioner that is trying to cool a big house, but it doesn't have the rating. It doesn't have the capacity to cool a big house. You should ask yourself, how much can you take? Before you buy a house, before you have a kid, before you get a pet, before you get something, what is your personality? What is your past recurring patterns in your life? Anytime you're overwhelmed, you step back. And yes, maybe you can re-engage, because that's part of life. Tom Cruise taught us that in the movie Top Gun. You had a failure. You got to pull back and then you re-engage. But you want to learn the lesson. That's what Tom Cruise did. He took too much risk. He took on too much. And so he had to mitigate risk. And this is not easy, but it's wise. How much do you want to take on? Okay. What crushed you in the past? What inspires you? What drags you down? Good to see you, Doug. Great to see you on the live chat. Twister's in here. Twister Sam. We made it to the end of the day. Another day in the books. I was thinking about you. I was praying for you and your mother. I know you had a little bit of an argument. And when I was, look, in my teens, 20s, and throughout my life, I've had arguments with my mother. Thank God she's still alive. Overall, now we kind of get each other. But part of the process of growing up and dealing with people is figuring out, how much stress that relationship can have, the boundaries that people need to keep, when is it wise to stop saying something? When is it wise to not even get involved with something? Why? Because every relationship, even the relationship between a parent and a child, there's only so much it can take. And we don't realize this till we get older, and that's okay, because it's part of getting older. It's a wise thing to give this some thought. Let me clean my screen a little bit. Hold on a second. Twister was saying we made it through another week. Praise God. It is my day off today. You work hard. Enjoy that day off. So have been catching up on the replays. Thank you. And chilling. Plus, I can stay to the live tonight. You can stay in the live chat tonight. Let's do it. I'm live. I go live every night. What do you want to talk about? Relationships, money, Florida. I want to tell you, being reliable, showing up will get you farther than many things in life. Why? Because number one is people want to know that they can count on a contractor to come when they say he's going to come. When I was a contractor, you know how much work I got? Because so many people referred me that when this guy say he's going to come, he comes in that time. Pause. You know what I meant. Okay. So, and then the other thing is, if you show up consistently and you're engaged, okay, and you have a positive attitude, you figured out most of life. Okay. Doug, on my way to my sister's for dinner, so I'll be listening as I drive. Well, Doug, I give you credit. Could I handle, how much could I take of eating dinner with my sisters? I love them. I appreciate them. Not much. Why? It's just, we've tried it. Doesn't work. Love them, respect to them. It's no disrespect, but I'm being honest. How much can I take? How much can they take? So now maybe one dinner here and there, but even that's tough. I see them sometimes try to get together, and you know what happens? They're both in their 40s. When they get together for dinner, argument. One dinner, argument. One dinner, argument. How much can they take? So you said that's bad of me for not wanting to go to dinner. You could at least go to one. I had one guy tell me you could at least go out, have coffee, do one. What? Look, the example is they do it once and there's an argument. I do it none, there's no argument, and there's still love and respect. I'm not saying I can never do one dinner or one coffee, but I'm just trying to make that point that people lie to themselves and say, oh, yeah, let's try to all get together. Okay. Yeah. How much can you take? What's up? Window analogy. You're trying to bring the message home. He goes, I have been learning and making peace with my limits. And you can push the limits and you can grow your capacity. Humans have the ability to grow, but humans also have the foolishness sometimes to try to repeat past decisions that didn't work out without changing anything. See, you can re-engage. You can fail and try again. Many times in life you're going to have to, and that's wisdom. But you have to re-engage in a different mentality, in a different way. So, because again, to do the same thing over and over and expect different results is insanity. To buy 1,000 square foot in New Jersey and 1,000 square foot in Florida and to expect different results is insanity. You say, well, the weather's different. That's true, but then the square footage of maintaining is the same. If you buy the same price, no matter what, you have to look at things in life that what hurt me in the past? What was my limit? What do I need to improve on past decisions? Then he continues to go, I understand I'm not the same as some of my more successful old friends, but I know I have immense value if I try my best. There you go. And you'll go farther than you think. So don't compare yourself to anyone. Just do your best and you'll end up where you're supposed to be. He goes, my bad. I'm man of air conditioning. I got it, brother. Not window. Yeah, the window units. I don't like central air. I like window units. Why? Less maintenance. I know they're less efficient. They'll cost more in electric bill, but for me, I don't sit there and live in the air conditioning. I live outside in South Florida, and I like it when it's 90. I like it when it's 100. And I only go in for a break for some air conditioning or at night, okay? And for 3 summers in Florida, no air conditioner. And how have I made out? It's hot a couple nights, but I'm fine. King Darius, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I appreciate your comment on my video today. Great to see you. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Spiritual Nomad, Sam, you're a wise man. Well, thank you. Next is, I say to myself, damn, I'm wise. Why can't I figure out my next step? And then I say to myself, well, you are. 1 is you're not rushing. 2 is you're measuring what you're doing. 3 is, to land a rocket ship is not going to just happen on the drop of a dime. Anyone, so you're going to, look, this takes a lot of work. SpaceX works all year to land 1 rocket. Okay. So, it's going to take a long time sometimes to do a big thing. So remember, when you are trying to make a big decision, let some things pass. Don't rush. I'm not trying to live in complacency because I recognize the need to shift a little bit here. But this is a very pivotal point in my journey. And the shift needs to be intentional, measured, and but I'm grateful for where I'm at. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, mini split AC is great. It could be, but it reminds me too much of central air. So I don't like the mini split. To me, it's like, yeah, it's not central air, but it's basically like the mini version. I want a portable AC unit that you could just roll up your window, and it's like got a little retractable thing. Just put the exhaust in the window. Now, some of them, you got to throw out the water. They collect water. That's a negative. That's fair point. But I don't want this. Why don't I like a split AC? Because guess what? When it breaks, you have to either call a contractor or you have to replace it yourself. I can't handle that. How much? I don't like sitting in a home base, a house, and waiting for a contractor to come at a certain time, certain day. I'd rather be able to go to Lowe's myself and buy a portable AC and put it in the vent it in the window. See, I'm trying to design my life going forward that I don't have to depend on as many people I depended on when I had my first house. Why? Because it sucks waiting around to live your life for other people, contractors specifically. Good job, Michelle. Those are great too. I have an LG portable. Oh, for the mobile home? Michelle, does that collect water? When my mom was cleaning an apartment this summer, she said she had to dump the water out of one of those portable ACs because they collect a lot of water. I don't have much experience with those, so I don't know. But if I get a home base, that's what it's going to be. She goes, no, it doesn't. All right, good. That's good to know. That's good to know. So look, we're measuring things. When we talk about how much we can take, we're measuring, our money. We're measuring the space that we're taking on. We're measuring the jobs that we're taking on. In our electrical contracting business, one of the slogans on the signs I had was "No job too small," which is a common phrase in contracting. One of my friends said to me, Sam, you're missing part of the phrase. It's supposed to say no job too big and no job too small. And I said, no, I'm not missing that. I left that out on purpose. There's some jobs for me that are too big. There's some guys, I don't want to put in a 400 amp commercial building service. I don't do that well. I mean, I've done it, but it's not my strength. I rather, put up a ceiling fan, change a residential panel, okay, change a GFI. No job too small. There are jobs too big for me. There are houses too big for me. There are relationships that are too much for me. How much can you handle? You'd be wise to ask yourself that in business and your personal. We're on fire tonight. Shout out to King Darius, Michelle, Twister going to talk all night long. Andre's always first. This guy's diligent. My man Doug is heading to his sister's house. You drive safe, brother. And when they start to argue, if there's some contentiousness, keep your mouth shut and go to the bathroom. Why? You don't need to argue. Just enjoy the dinner and then get the hell out of Dodge as soon as you can. Everything has a time limit. So guys and girls, what are we talking about tonight, guys and girls? We're talking about trying to figure out your best life. Why? Because if you don't figure it out, someone else has got to figure it out for you, or you're going to get the default life. The default life. What's that? The life that just basically is going to suck more than the life that you choose. Twist up. Sam, I respect and understand your independent contractor analogy to showing up, but please understand, I think I speak for a few of us when I say you are more as a friend, brother, than just another YouTuber. Always take care of you first. YouTube comes second, but you know that. Well, I appreciate those positive, encouraging words, Twister. I appreciate you taking the time to write them. Like I say, one of your attributes is you got a very positive personality. Even though I know that people who are positive can also be negative. Sometimes I have a lot of negative thoughts, but I fight them off. Okay, so look, sensitive people, positive people are vulnerable to pain because we feel. A psychopath, maybe not so much because they don't feel, or they're just or they give totally into the negativity. So all I can tell you is I appreciate those words. Thank you. Your positive attitude will take you a long way. Now again, it's hard to be positive sometimes with family. It's hard to be positive, so I always tell you guys, like, as you get older, it's tough to realize this when you're in your 20s or 30s. As you get older, you're going to realize that as positive as you want to be, if you put too much on yourself, if you don't have enough boundaries, you're going to be negative towards people, including your parents, your whoever. Usually you'll be more negative towards people that are closest to you. So know when to have you time. I remember, when I had my own place and I had some people over, and, and they were starting to frustrate me. Okay. And one of the girls said, Sam, I think you need some time for yourself. I say, yeah, I think it's time for everyone to leave. Okay. So, because, I can only take so much, and that's why, again, I choose to be single. I choose to live alone, because for me, that's how much I can handle, and to keep my sanity and keep my peace and keep my joy. Everything should be evaluated through that lens. Back to live comments. David got spammed on Facebook Marketplace. There was a fake bonfire that never happened. David, Facebook Messenger, sorry, not Marketplace. Well, yeah, look, Facebook is like Craigslist. I wouldn't want to meet anyone I met on there. I wouldn't go to any event that was advertised on there. Why? Because it's basically like the free advertisement for spammers or for subpar sellers who are trying to sell shit that's not worth 2 cents. And so he said, oh, I got a great deal on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, all right. What'd you get? yeah, all right, what'd you get? Yeah, you know what I mean? What'd you get? I ain't gonna find on the Marketplace. David, get a W-2 job, man. And then do your thing on the side. Why? You'll decrease your stress. Because how much can you chase? How much can you take trying to sell hot dogs to fake-ass bonfire events? Work the night shift. I know you don't like to deal with people. As a security officer or something basic, a scanner at Planet Fitness, get a couple $100 or $500 a week just by doing a basic job. Take the pressure off yourself with the independent contractor life and selling hot dogs and concession stand. And then you'll be selling hot dogs even better. Why? Because you'll have less stress. Right now, you got a lot of stress. Why? Because when it's just your 1099, guys, you're going to fake bonfires. You're selling, subpar stuff on Facebook, Etsy, eBay. When it's your side hustle, it's your side hustle. When it's your main hustle, it'll break you. Laura, what's up, Laura? Thank you for your kindness towards me. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you, Laura. Laura goes, I saw you come on live on my TV as I was watching you, a YouTube on problems in California and the drought on my desktop now. So I got lucky again. Sunday, rainy afternoon we're having here. Well, yeah, thank you, Laura. Beautiful day in South Florida, but I'm moving around. Why? Because I have to change campgrounds, change locations. And this is where I say, Sam, you're trying to avoid some stress of the home base, but how much can you take on the road? And it is getting to a point where some of the negatives of the road are starting to overcome some of the pros. And, this is where you start to ask yourself, how much can I take of this? Because you don't have a level of consistency. Laura, I love you. Hang in there. I appreciate everything. One Flying Solo, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Twister, Sam. I'm learning the true nature of this cruel world day by day. It's all right, man. It'll get a little bit better as you get older, but it get a little bit tougher in some ways, one day at a time. You're definitely right about how positivity has high potential to get burned, no doubt. That's why you got to have boundaries and self-care. I lived it, experienced it, and learned from it. You're growing, brother. You're going to figure it out. Why? Because you got all the right skill sets. You've just been blessed with a nature that wants to grow. Okay. Now, you're still going to feel pain. You're still going to get very negative, and you're still going to have low points, but you're also going to have high points, and you're going to have great success. So what should you do? One day at a time. Why? Because take the good with the bad. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. Try to sustain healthy habits. That's the best we can do in this world, brother. Early riser, what's up, brother? Great to see you, early riser. I need more alone time than most, understand that. Although lately, even alone time has been feeling heavy. My self-care has been good too. Weights, bike, diet. Maybe it's time of the year. I don't know for sure. Early riser, where you at again? Good to see you doing self-care. My man Charles, what's up, brother? Sam, hey. I appreciate your videos and I enjoy your perspective. Reciprocal, same back to you. Keep punching, my friend. Yes. Fighting for your best life. I was going to name a live feed that too. I'm going to name that. Look, man, I took some hits last week, guys. I thought I'd won a round actually, I actually thought I won a match. Okay. But just when I thought I was about to close, the victory, I got blindsided. And what I'm trying to do now is get my win back so I can re-engage. Because, guys, I've done many things in life, and I failed. I failed my electrical exam 3 times. That doesn't mean I didn't try again. On the 4th try, I passed. I tried certain things. I tried stop smoking cigarettes several times. Through persistence and prayer, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I hate them. Weed, you can put in the same category. Dating. I broke up with someone. I thought I could never live without him, but I kept fighting to build my own life. Even some investments. Some investments didn't work out, but some I learned to at least gain some traction. I haven't figured out everything, but I'm saying that I have gained sometimes by going through losses and stepping back, because you can only take so much, but then re-engaging more measured. And that is the message tonight. We take our L's and we step back because we realize we took on too much or we weren't ready. I think about Michael Jordan. The first time he tried to win a championship, he went up against the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys, and he lost the first time. And when he went back, when he re-engaged after a year break, because again, you got to wait another year to play a championship, he said he hit the weights more, he was more tougher, he was more prepared physically and mentally to engage at a higher level. So, a lot of times in life, guys, you ain't going to get it on the first try, second try, third try. I'm not saying you should keep trying everything, especially if it involves someone else. This is for your own self-improvement, not other people. And that re-engagement, Gail, I want you to try to re-engage in a healthy way. Thank you, Gail, for that positive comment. I love your videos. You're killing it. You're doing a great job. You got a lot to offer. And I still think within whatever you want to do, Gail, you never forget that. But you got something left. I think it. So I've learned that, look, even these past couple of days, I was thinking about, and good to see you, Aaron, and good to see you, Aaron, also. Let me get to live comments, but I just want to share this, because I was thinking about Gail's video, and these past few days I've been more negative to myself. I'm very conscious, and I could say this with peace, that 90+% of the people that I know in real life and that I've dealt with throughout my life, I don't bring negativity onto them. Okay? I very much always try in real life not to put any negativity on other people. But like I was saying, we tend to put it on ourselves. Like when I've been on my alone time these past couple days, because I had a setback last week, I've been speaking very negative and very hurtful, like just because I'm, frustrated, and I'm upset and I'm trying to figure out. And so I pull back from my past experiences in life and I say, Sam, you've been down this negative road before. You got to step back. You're doing the right thing. Okay? And then you're going to have to re-engage more measured. Now, depending on what that re-engagement is, I'm still working that out. But you can't give up. I mean, as far as you can't give up. I mean, you could give up, but then life's just even harder. So if I gave up, guys, if I gave up on my electrical contracting exam, I would have never done that. If I gave up on quitting cigarettes and weed, I would have never done that. I'd have been still smoking weed, coughing during this live feed. If I gave up on breaking away from a relationship that was not mutual, I'd basically be like an emotional tampon. I wouldn't be able to give you advice because I feel so bad about myself. If I gave up on my dream of Florida, I'd be freezing in New Jersey right now, broadcasting about my pipe dream that when I'm 92, I hope to get to Florida. So I know that I can pull back from my past experiences and say, look, at that point, you can only take so much, but what you do is you step back, you build yourself up, and you re-engage more measured. You know, sometimes when I'm talking to my mom and she's struggling, you know, dealing with the relationships in her life or the things she got to do, I said, Mom, look back on your life and all that you were able to overcome. You're strong. You know, don't give yourself, don't sell yourself short. So, all right, let's take a hydration break. I thank you for these encouraging words. Thank you, all my members out there. Let me take a hydration break. I hope my words are encouraging you a little bit, and then we're going to continue to read. If I miss a comment, please type it again. Don't take it out of disrespect if I miss it by accident. Back to live comments. Erin says, good to see you, Erin. She says, a mouse, oh God, just ran across the hall. I'm going to snap. Well, wow, you just opened up a wound there, Erin. But I appreciate you sharing. You know, again, I had a mouse infestation. One of the setbacks last week I had involved a mouse, a rat. So I'm glad you brought it up though, Erin. Why? Because, we have to remember the reality of what we're facing. You know, you got to remember that, Erin, when you're selling your house, that you're emotionally attached to it because you raised your sons. So what you got to remember when you struggle to sign the paperwork or struggle to make your house available when someone wants to see it is, remember that mouse running across your house, okay? Time to get the hell out of Dodge. Savat, what's up, brother? Good to see you, Savat. All my truck drivers out there, love and respect to everyone who's living on the road. Laura, a mouse, yeah. Laura, thank you again for everything. Laura and Laureen, I want to thank you both for your graciousness. Aaron, catching them dead is one thing, but the nasty thing is alive. Out to Van I go. I've been there. I was the only male in my house, and I had to round up all the mice traps. And, and I saw some running in my room. Eventually, the sticky traps with the peanut butter got them all. You got to put peanut butter that's what we did anyway. We put peanut butter at the end of the sticky trap, and you put the sticky trap in a corner, and those mouses go to it. Now, the problem is they get stuck on a stippy mac. They don't die right away. And it's a horrible thing. I don't like to kill things, but it's like, when you're it's them or you, because they'll overtake your house. Because like I said, wherever there's one mouse, there's more. Believe me, I know. Okay, and so be careful. I understand. King Darius, thank you again, brother. What's up, man? He goes, when the U.S. dollar collapses, nomads will have an easy transition into the kingdom economy. No, they won't. Why? Because if the U.S. dollar collapses, the entire economy collapses. And if the entire economy collapses, it won't matter if you live in the van or not. So, the country cannot collapse and you succeed. And no country, if any country fully collapses and we don't help them, no one succeeds. Why? Because wherever there is pain in the world, it eventually bubbles up to everywhere. And if you're godly, you should be praying and believing for peace. If you're a king, you should be saying, when America does better, I'm going to be there to help get it better. If you're the devil, you live in fear and you prey on fear and you tell other people when it collapses, we're going to be the only righteous. And you have all these kids because you can't control your own hormones. And your kids suffer the same mental illness as you because they're going to live in fear because you refuse to wear a condom or get a vasectomy. If you have a mental illness, you shouldn't be reprocreating because look at what you're reprocreating in the live feed. You're pumping fear instead of pumping hope. Do you believe in God or do you serve the devil? Okay. Because if you had a mental illness 100 years ago, we would drill fucking holes in your skull. But we don't do that anymore. Why? Because the American dollar went better and America did better than 100 years ago. So you better get your mind right. Okay. If you're a king, act like a king. Okay. If you're a slave to fear, then act like that. Okay. But don't put that bullshit in this live chat, man. Laura, do you have a cat? Aaron, I am terrified of these things. Aaron, not my cat died, and now I know how many mice was saving from me. Twisted, Sam, I walked around the RV dealership. Well, be careful doing that. That's how you spend 20 years worth of earning power. When in doubt, don't buy it. He goes, Sam, they'll give you a free water and then they'll finance it for 20 years. I'm not against that, but you're not ready in your 20s for that. Sam, I walked around the RV dealership while sipping my Starbucks and your live stream on my headphones. Best day off ever. As long as you don't buy that RV, you're doing well because you're still young. Build up your savings, get out of debt, figure out what you want to do. Remember, if you buy an RV, you're further away from buying a house. Remember, if you live in your house and you love your equity, but you have an RV and you dream about retiring, by the time you sell your house, you'll be too old to travel and you'll be in this oxymoron. So what should you do? Balance the shit out of your life, self-care out of your life. Good job, Aaron. I would rather freeze than get touched by a mouse. Well, I've done both. And I can tell you, they both suck. Frugal Gal, a.k.a. Gail, like I said, love and respect. I appreciate your videos. And no matter what you do, I thank you for everything you have done. Look, Gail, in some ways, you're stronger than me. Why? Because you don't give up. You don't delete your videos. Just when you think Gail's never going to upload again, she's still fighting. And, you try to stay as positive as you can. So I give you a lot of credit. Aaron, I need Adam to bushwhack my house. Adam got his own problems. Remember, Adam's living with two parents that got dementia. His ex-girl cheated on him several times. He's got 3 kids. So you're calling a contractor to come fix your problem with your plumbing. Your contractor's got a worse life than you. You're calling your exterminator who isn't getting paid much, and he's got more problems than you. You want to fix your problems. Remember in life, guys, this is what I learned. When you go to the campground and someone tells you, yeah, just come back and I'll make sure that you get a 2 weeks worth of camping, and then you cancel your reservations, and then you think like they know something you don't know. No. I want to tell you this, guys. Most people in life, you got to figure out most of your own shit. That's what I'll tell you right now. I mean, there's some stuff you can't do, like you can't drill your own filling. All right, but for everything you can do on your own. Sticky trap and peanut butter. Okay, come back in 2 weeks, just pick up those. You know what? I picked up those sticky traps with a shovel, and I threw them in a 3 mil bag, just like that. Laura, Aaron, can you get another cat? Sam, I see you speaking honest, true talk to your experience. No sugarcoat. Well, I try to show love and empathy because I don't want to hurt anyone. Even when I talk a little bit boldly, I don't do it in pride and I don't do it to bully. I do it to wake up the psychopath from the cold shower. And I do it to shake out the negativity in the live chat. I do it to sage, to get that bad energy the fuck out of here, man. Why? Because I lived in bad energy. I don't want to live there no more, man. I'm done with it. Thank you. If any bad energy gonna come, it's gonna come when I'm by myself, okay, and I'm fighting it off by myself. Someone else ain't gonna bring it into my life. Ain't no one coming in my house with mice. Ain't gonna happen. Aaron, hit that thumbs up, guys. Thank you. Aaron, no pets, Laura. On the road again. On the road soon. There you go. Put that house up on the market. Aaron, his honest is my favorite thing. Thank you. Laura, I see videos with people with a cat. Yeah, some people do that. Aaron, when it's time to sign that mouse will be a blessing. Sometimes it's got to get more painful before you step into the blessing. Why? Because if I didn't have to go to the hospital, emergency room 2 nights in a row because I had extreme pain in my chest, I would have never got my health together. If the winters weren't so brutal in New Jersey, I would have never got to Florida. If the road gets so annoying, then eventually I get home base. Look, you don't change until your text messages don't get replied right. You don't change until you realize that I'm dealing with more cons than pros. So sometimes the mice got to take over your house before you sell your house. Because Aaron, I guarantee you, if your air conditioning was working, if your heating was working, if there was no mice, and you had scented candles lit, and you were rolling around in money on your queen-size bed, you'd be so comfortable, you'd curse that van, and you'd stay in your house 1,000 years. The bad news is you only going to live to about 80 years. At least that's the average for most of us. So the good news is the mouse chased you out of your house to chase you into your new life. Never forget it. Aaron, Laura, I want to see what it's like. Take care of me. Yeah, look, empty nester. I dated a couple milfs. They raise their kids, and then they say, look, I want my life back. But then they get their life back, they get bored, and then they, want to either be a parent again or they date some guy that drives a Toyota Tacoma who is not really up there too much, but, he's got on some tight jeans and he listens to 80s rock. And so what do? You try to relive your youth, but you don't look like Madonna anymore, not you, Aaron. And they're not, Bon Jovi. You're two people in your 50s, and all you can do now is dance until your ALC pops. And then you're going to break up with the guy because you don't want him to see you get old. Then he's going to reach out to you and you're going to feel bad. Then someone's going to pass away. Then you're going to feel, I'm in my 60s now. I just want to be able to just eat what I want, not be bothered, and whatever. Then you just enjoy some TV, some YouTube, talking to your sons, hopefully once a night. And you live a peaceful life. That's at least what I've seen. King Darius, I love you, brother. The problem is already solved. Good. That's what I like to hear. Aaron, I live on Old Apple Orchard Farm, and I am burnt out from so many animals and 4 acres. Yeah, for 200 square feet, enough for me. For 20 years, yeah, that's a lot to take care of. Was great when kids were little, but now I'm old. Things change. Good job, Aaron. Darius, stay positive. I love you. Seek knowledge. Good. You don't comprehend who you're talking to. That's what I like to hear, brother. Good job, Darius. King. All I do is win. Well, stay humble because we all lose. I love you. I love you, King. Laura, my husband is an African immigrant. No, I do not sponsor him. Haha. But he loves America. And he says, dollar will not collapse. We have support systems in USA that are not developing countries. She continues. Wow, Aaron, a cow. Cow is big animal. What is a pet or food source? Yeah, look, you're going to get infestation whenever there's a food source. I got roaches in my car at one time in Florida because I was keeping cereal in my front seat passenger. Don't do that. Don't keep an open box of cereal in South Florida. Look, no one knows what the future holds, okay? But what we do know is if we look at history, the future tends to get better. How can I say that? Well, look at 1921. Look at where America was at then. Look at where it's at now. Look at 1821. Look at 1721. Look at Jesus' time. Look at Moses' time. Hey guys, look, for most people in the world, not just America, on a big scale of things got better. Are things perfect? Not in this world, never be perfect. But if you look at human history and American history, things have gotten progressively better. So to say it's going to get progressively worse is just basically wishing it out of nowhere because it's not factual at all, and it only is making mental suffering worse and asset allocation worse. Aaron, Laura, I wish I had his perspective. I see too many people who need health care. Who? Aaron, you're a social worker. All the poor people have Medicaid. All the old people have Medicare. The middle class working usually either have it through their employee, or if they get totally destitute, they claim bankruptcy because health medical bills are bankruptable. The only thing that's not bankruptable is college loan debt. So is healthcare still expensive? Sure. But again, the very poor have it, the very old have it, and those in the middle who choose not to have it with their employer, don't have it with their employee, then eventually if they get in enough debt, they'll just go bankrupt and they get wiped out. Dollar will not collapse, but there will be inflation. How much we'll have to see. That's true. Remember, let's look at history. What happened in the 70s? We had inflation. What happened in the 80s and 90s? We had deflation. Everything's a cycle, guys. But are we better than the 1970s and 1980s? Yeah. If you look at the overall context of society, are you working for the same company for 30 years in a paper mill plant? Or are you watching this remotely? Are you able to do anything basically from your phone? Are you able to access free porn without buying a Playboy in the store? Remember the triple X stores when you had to duck in there in the middle of the night? Now, you just go to your phone. Guys, America's getting better and better. I ain't lying about that. Aaron, cow was pet. I'm a vegetarian. Sam will laugh, but it was on my way to the butcher, so I saved it. That's a blessing. Good for you. I won't laugh at that. I give you credit. Good. Aaron, I can't stand suffering, and the stupid cows were going to die. I respect your empathetic heart. Aaron's laughing. Good. On the guy with the Tacoma. Yeah, guys, don't forget I live life. I did some of those. Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah, oh my God. Hey, guys, look, I want to tell you tonight, I've been through some, I know, they call me a prophet. I love you. Yeah. Laura, your video on dating a MILF was so funny. It came out of truth. That's why it was funny. Shit. And seemed accurate. Well, yeah, when I lived it, it's accurate as a motherfucker. I love cupcakes and sugar comments. I love you. I never have talked to the TV until seeing you on YouTube. Thank you, Laura. You've been very gracious to me. And I say absolutely a lot. Laura, we love you. Appreciate your new tag name. Thank you for all your blessings. King Darius, I love you, brother. Good. Hearts, laugh, and prayer. I love you. Respect. Early riser. Sam, I saw a quote by Steve Jobs. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Well, that's interesting. It kind of reminds me, I was reflecting on a Martin Luther King quote, is that faith is taking the first step without seeing the entire staircase. Now, obviously, we need wisdom. We need to do the work. But, yeah, your future requires a level of faith. There's no doubt about that. Early riser. You have to trust in something. A good point here. We're on the same page on this. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. Respect. Now, I appreciate your point on that. Stacy Rainbow Nursery. What's up, Stacy? Sam, you are right on point on how the stages of life go. I appreciate that, you guys. Hey, man, I live this book. Thank you. Aaron, I see working class who can't afford open marketplace. The poverty line is too low for Medicaid, in my humble opinion. She continues. I don't think someone who works minimum wage 40 hours shouldn't qualify for Medicare. It all depends on their situation, right? Like if they got kids, if they got 3 kids, they're going to qualify. And so, if they're a single person, 20 years old, they shouldn't qualify. I mean, they're working their way up. They're still on their parents' thing. So, look, would I believe in a universal health care? Sure. I mean, Canada's got it. Europe's got it. Every other first world country's got it. It's just a matter of how they do it. But America basically does it now. It's just different. Our taxes are lower. And so it either goes to the very poor, the very elderly, or you got to know how to navigate the system. And if you choose to take the risk in America and not have health care, not pay for it, then you're taking on that risk, right? So if you're an independent contractor, that's why I was breaking down last night or the other night. Like a lot of people tell me like they love being a 1099. But part of being a 1099, which I've done and still do, is that you got to manage your own healthcare cost. And look, would you like for the government to do it? I don't care either way. I wouldn't be against universal health care to a certain extent. Don't bother me. But I'm just trying to tell you that you got to pay for it one way or another. So either the government's going to take it out of your check with more taxes, or you're going to take it out of your own check and use the Stride tax app and pay your own taxes and manage your own health care. And the percentages are pretty much going to equal the same. You just got to kind of know how to work this. You got to put more effort into it. Does it suck? Yes. Do I wish they had some default thing that we didn't have to worry about like Canada or Europe? Yeah, as long as it was a reasonable thing, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. Do some people get squeezed out? Are there the working poor? Yes. Aaron definitely makes a fair comment. Like, look, there are the working poor. I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at. I mean, I have no kids, no pets anymore. And I've been in debt, especially early on in my career. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, look, there's a lot to be said. There's a lot of individual circumstance. So, but there's also a lot of things right now that a lot of people are choosing not to do. So it's like, you got to be careful where you don't want to make the reward system greater not to do. But at the same time, you want to make the incentives for those who do easier to survive. And that's where there is a gap. Because I do believe there's a lot of people trying to do, but the incentives may not be 100%. But in my life, just so I can tell you from my life, just like I told you with the MILFs, in my life, any able-bodied, overall mentally well person that shows up, that has a positive attitude and is willing to take a promotion, they may not always get ahead because they choose to stay in a relationship, choose to have kids, choose to keep getting pets, choose to buy a bigger house than they need. But they always going to have the means to live a great life if they downsize appropriate. So, like Aaron, you see, you got 4 acres, right? So, I'm sure there's a lot of people that got too much. I know people right now, they got a great job, but they got 2 expensive cars. I'm not going to say a lot of stuff I want to say, but I'm just trying to say they got too much. And there's a 2-part equation. You got to have opportunity. Again, I believe that if you put effort into your life, you got to get a little lucky. But if you put effort and you're a hard worker and you're positive and you're willing to take a promotion, you're willing to think not just like you thought, you're willing not just to think like an electrician, but to think like a project manager, to think like an IT tech. If you're willing not to just think like a parks department worker, that all you can do is work at the parks department to make a pension. If you're willing to think that you can change jobs, then you can change jobs, but it's going to be some pain. If you're not like that, the most conservative people I've ever met, they work for the government. They work for like the parks department. They work for local state governments, and so it's like they don't want the government involved in their life, but without the government, they don't have a retirement plan. So I don't understand like the dynamic. I've been in the private sector most of my life, so all of my life pretty much. So, the dynamic is like America kind of wants it both ways, even the most conservative. Like, because I know conservative, cold-hearted capitalists. Guys, how do you think corporations make money, guys? A lot of it is government contracts, okay? Or government subsidies, even oil companies, farmers, tech companies, SpaceX, Tesla, all these things. Guys, so it's all intertwined. So what should you do? You got to focus on how much do you have in your life? Do you got too much? Do you got too much stuff but adequate income? Do you have not enough income? Very few people have little things and little income. Because even the poorest among us have a storage unit. How do I know? Because I got people in my family. They go get their food stamps renewed every 2 weeks. And they go visit their storage unit every 2 years. So I can tell you from my own testimony that should someone who doesn't even go visit the stuff that they pay to keep in a storage unit that they don't use, and they get food stamps, and they get a voucher, and they get, what else should we do? There's not much you can do. And even though it's very sad, I wish we could, guys, if you give me one wish, someone asked me the other night, if I had one wish, everyone has peace, health, and prosperity. Everyone. But I don't understand life, guys. I'm still trying to figure out what I need to do for me. And that's what, when I get lost, I say, all right, Sam, figure out what you need to do for you, contribute to society in a positive way. And most people won't even do that. So, and then most people want the world to be better, but they won't do anything to make the world better. And you make the world better by just improving your own life. Okay? Sell the house with the rat infestation, streamline your life, and you'll figure it out. Aaron. Wait, did I leave off on the right comment? No, I didn't. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, Cartoon Mark. Cartoon Mark, what's up? He works for the government in upstate New York. Cartoon Mark, Sam. I found sand in my luggage when unpacking. I love it. Cartoon Mark, that sand will soon disappear just like the vitamin D that was pumping through your body. The vitamin D is draining like the caffeine that drained out of your body. But the good news is you have a positive attitude. You're a loving man. You got rid of the tenant. And Cartoon Mark, I don't know much about cartoonists, but I know this. You got to learn to use your imagination in your real life like you do when you paint a cartoon. Because there's no way, Cartoon Mark, you get to South Florida and live a great life if you think like a utility tracer. Because you can't trace that. There's no pipeline. You got to actually use your creativity. You got to use your imagination like Walt Disney to get down to Florida, brother. So, Cartoon Mark, I want you to streamline your stuff and maximize your imagination and creativity. I want you to do a live feed painting butt naked. And I want you to use all neon colors with a black light. And I want you to have YMCA playing in the background. Okay. Now, don't do that. I'm just playing. Because plus you're going to get copyrighted. Okay. But you know what I mean? You got to think outside the box on this one. Aaron, they only qualify for kids, not themselves. I'm not sure all the dynamics. It does depend on the individual circumstance, their income level, etc. Let's continue to read. Aaron, college kids are an issue too. They can't qualify if parents file FAFSA for student loans, yet college requires it. And so it means full work as a full-time student. Well, I worked... Look, I went to school at night and worked a full-time job for 5 years after high school. So, I worked in a ditch during the day, 40 hours a week, and I went to school at night for 5 years after high school. So, let them work. Shit, that's what I tell them. Yeah, just like that. Let them work. Now, did I hate that shit? Hell yeah. Did I do it? Hell yeah. So, and look, that's how I tell them. Yeah, to figure that shit out. Because, too, if you go to school and you don't work, you're going to be like a lot of these people. You're going to graduate college and you're not going to like going to work. And then you're going to go back to get your master's degree. And then you're going to have a bunch of debt, no tangible tenacity because you haven't been through the war. And then you're going to get married. Then you're going to have a kid. Then you're going to move back in with your mother. Or you're going to move back in with them. It's going to be a disaster. Okay. So, Aaron, you tell your kids, don't have kids until they're 30. Start working. Live below your means, and you're going to make mistakes. So did I. But all I got is a van. Ain't enough room for you in here. If you got that big-ass house, guess what they do when they come back in that house? Okay? And I want to tell you this. I've seen it happen. Okay? You'll be watching the Hallmark Channel in the guest bedroom. Okay? And your kids will be running the entire house. You'll be like Cartoon Mark. Yeah, look at Cartoon Mark Channel. His family run that house. He trying to find a little studio for himself. Yeah, I want to tell you this, guys. Don't have too much with too many people can live with you. Where are we at? Sam, early riser. Sam, I never fully understand what the grace of God means. It's the mystery of faith, like they used to say in the Catholic Church. Is that with his help? Or with his guidance or believe, and he steps in? I'm a little confused. It basically means we do what we can control. We do the work of our life. And then there's some things that just ultimately work out in our favor that we can't take full credit for because it went above even what beyond our work did. And that's pretty much the best explanation I can give you. Aaron, I just wish universal health care for the working poor. Yeah, it's all a matter how you cut the pie. You're either going to pay 5% more in federal tax or you're going to take out 5% or 10% of whatever and you're going to pay for it yourself. But am I against if they just printed money and paid for it? If they could work it out, without crazy, yeah, I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be against it, yeah. I wouldn't be against it. Aaron, good question early. Me either. Don't get it. Aaron? Yeah, I don't think that's fair, Sam. Which one was that? But I hear you. I hear your points. Laura, my wish is those storage units could be converted to living units and all that crap and find a place to be used and not stored taking place. Well, I'll show you a couple mobile home communities, okay, that don't have regulations and you can put a tiny house. You got to understand, that's not, putting everyone together that is low income and doesn't like rules is it's like the housing projects. Okay, it's like, yeah, a lot of great people, but it's very dysfunctional. Why? Because you can't put a high concentration of people that have very low income. There's mental disability. There's a lack of physical effort, and there's a variety of issues. You got to mix the bag. You got to have a balance, and so you got to kind of spread people in and out of communities to keep that. Like, you'd want people who are trying to get ahead to be in a community that they can network with other people and be in a decent environment. And you don't want to put all the destitute people together, because have you ever visited a homeless shelter? Have you ever visited a mentally ill place? Have you ever it's a fucking shit show. Okay, people molesting each other, it's fucking people throwing shit at each other, fucking crazy. So if you put everyone together in a tiny home community that ain't doing shit, it's a fucking shit show. So you gotta be very careful, like the concentration of people you put together. It's a disaster. Laura, Aaron, parent need to be very careful signing any student loans for children. Adult children have their whole work life to pay back or earn as they go. Much risk of those loans. No, that's a fair point. I got myself in debt, and it took me almost 10, 15 years to get out of it. So, and I was fortunate. I didn't have kids. And light bulb came on. I started to be more intentional. It took a long time, though, to get out of that shithole. So, that's why I tell you, look, your kid's got a shot, but if they have a kid too early, if they get too far behind the 8 ball, and then they have another kid and then another pet, they're done. But some people can't be alone. Some people rather have debt and a family and a dog than be by themselves for 5-10 years and figure out their life. What's the right thing to do? We're all struggling. It's not easy to figure out how much we can take. But I tell you this, once you take on too much, hard to get rid of it. If you have too little, if you're taking care of your health and your income, you can figure the rest out. So always remember, you can always add. Okay. You can always add. Hard to subtract. Never forget it. Aaron, trust me, at Laura. I know. I'm in that hell now. Sorry to hear that. Aaron, fortunately, one of my kids is great with money and just wiped out $40,000 in student loans. God bless him. That's awesome. Laura, so sorry, Aaron. I told my daughter no. She wanted to go to Catholic University in D.C. without any direction or study. Nope. Not me signing that. Yeah, look, I was fortunate. I was in a trade program. But like I said, what I learned with that is I felt fortunate at least having the opportunity, even though it wasn't easy. And I got other people opportunities in that, and they didn't follow through. So what did that teach me? It teaches me is that opportunity is important, but you can give people opportunity if they're not willing to put in the work. What can you do? Make their life easier? Yeah. Someone who's unwilling to take an opportunity and make the most of it. Should you give them health care? Should you give them a UBI? I don't know. It's a tough balance. I don't want to see them destitute though either. But that's the tough balance of life. How much do you want to reward things and how much do you want to subsidize things? It's tough balance. And that's what we all struggle with, balance. Laura, my S messes up on my keyboard. No problem. So sometimes my words are missing S. That's okay. We get the context of what you're saying. Aaron, awesome job, Laura. I am horrible at no. You have an empathetic heart, and we love that about you. We understand. Getting much better. You are. You're a smart woman, and we appreciate you. My man, Cartoon Mark, I love you, brother. Sam. Let me take hydration break before I read this. I love you, Mark. All right, God, give me grace here, all right? All right, this is my man, Cartoon Mark. He goes, Sam, the kids already told us to knock. Let's pray for the Lord. The kids already told us to knock before coming into their apartment. Yeah, that's his house, don't forget. We had food we're bringing up to them. Aaron, here you go. Man, that didn't take long. We got to make sure they get health care, man. Yeah, let's get them health care right now, man. Yeah, I meant that. Yeah. Guys, they should have health care, and I was in my 20s, I understand. But I want to tell you, being a parent, it's not easy. I was, look, I needed help when I was in my 20s, no doubt about it. I love you, Mark. Love your family. Laura, here we have She goes, here we have tent cities and communities collecting tents. It's nuts. Yeah. Look, that's where California just let all the people who want to have encampments have them. And when you're dealing with that level of, it's not just poverty based on there's no opportunity. It's based on mental problems and drug problems and a social structure that says you can do this. So I'm not saying that. Look, I'm saying that that's too far out of balance because you can't let the insane run the insane asylum. Okay, and you got to be able to have some boundary. Yeah, that's not healthy. Laura, oh yeah, I read that. Early riser, Sam. I admire that you worked full time and went to night school for 5 years, right out of high school. That is impressive. After I graduated, I bounced around with no direction. Great job, Sam. Well, thank you. And I got an opportunity. So it wasn't, I can't take full credit. That's the grace of God. Someone gave me an opportunity. But I can say I put in the work, and I can say I passed that opportunity on to others. And some took advantage of it, some didn't. So that's kind of my story. Twista? I've been working since 16. Been in university for 6. I'm so done with this lifestyle. I've been excited for my graduation since the first day I started laughing. I understand. I hate school too. I do what I need to do to get by the grace of God and through some cheating. Thank God I just have 1 semester left. Praying for you, brother. Love to you. Respect. Aaron, Sam, early asked what the grace of God means. I'm curious too. Yeah, I believe I explained it, but what the grace of God means is after you do everything you can do, and sometimes even when you don't, things turn out ultimately in your favor. And so when they do, whether if you put the work in for them or if you don't, if you have somewhat of humility, you recognize that the grace of God was over your life. As an example, in my own life, I could say that I put in the work to build my career. But I could also say if it wasn't for the grace of God in getting an opportunity and through having certain things available to me, even though I put in the work, it didn't have to end up like that. And so that's kind of the best way I can explain it. Hopefully that helped. Yeah, Aaron, yeah, some cheating, yeah. Look, now I wasn't like a vicious cheater, like manipulator or anything like that, but look, I certainly had to deflate the football like the New England Patriots. I had to look for every edge. Why? Hey guys, look, I'm intelligent, but I'm very high energy. I can't sit in a classroom for all this time talking about bullshit. To me, I'm the type of guy, I do my own research, I figure out how to get A to B, and I'll figure that shit out. And I research, I'm very into knowledge. But school knowledge and like life knowledge, very different. But believe me, I'll do the school knowledge, but in the classroom structure and all that, not my thing. So yeah, I needed to do what I need to do. Sometimes that's true. UBG Blogs, hey, AKA Paula. Paula's in the building. If you want to see a beautiful woman falling 7 times, getting up 8, she is known as the queen of crypto, even though I do not endorse trading crypto. You've seen her in a black and white picture in her lingerie and you wanted to get with her. You've seen Paula up for 3 days leaving comments on my channel at 5 o'clock in the morning. She is UGP Vlogs _LA, aka Paula, purple heart, red heart, love emoji hug with the little hands and the blush. Paula, I want to tell you, I know life, you ask yourself sometimes, how much can I take? And all I can tell you, Paula, we're taking life one day at a time. Okay, that's all we can do. Denise! Fire him up. What's up, Denise? Good to see you. She says, hey, Paula. Laura, this is why some believe that God is merciful God, because God's grace is a gift. Well, I did curse God the past few days, and I said, God, you're a fucking devil. You don't exist. I fucking hate you. I don't say he doesn't exist. I recognize God. Like, that's why I have beef with atheists. Like, I guarantee you they curse God. Well, I thought God don't exist. Look, I curse God sometimes. So did Moses. So did most people in the Bible. Jesus questioned God. But I still acknowledge God for whatever it's worth. And God is still shown his faithfulness at certain points in my life, so I can't ignore that. But I don't want to be a hypocrite either and say that I don't, like these past few days, not to other people, but to myself in my own time, I've been cursing God, like, fuck it, and so, just in my own thoughts, again, not like externally, but internally, like, and so, it's that dynamic, but I still have faith, I'm trying to keep the faith as best I can. Stacy, Sam, let's say we end up in a convalescent home. Okay, the home for like the people can't do for themselves, invalids. Do we want to just use our Social Security and end up in low end type home, or cash in our investments and be in a higher end retirement home? They are expensive. Well, whatever you have, use it. Why? What you saving it for? If you're saving it for your kids, I think it's great if you can leave some for your kids. I'm not against that. I'm just saying whatever you have in life, use it. Don't waste it. But you do have to be, even me, like I'm very careful now how I deploy resources. Like, because to me, if I spend $70K on an RV, that's $70K less I would put towards a home base eventually. So you do have to put thought into when you spend money and how you spend it, okay, as you get older. When I was young, I was reckless. We all were. But look, if you have it, don't end up in a convalescent home. I know some people, they put their family member in a subsidized home and they hid their assets, and it's a big shit show. Am I against it? Like, everyone plays the game, rich, poor, middle. So just figure out what's best for you. It ain't easy, but if you're going to go out, I'll tell you to go out in a beach cottage rather than a convalescent home. That's what I'll tell you. Or even your van by the beach. Fuck it. I love you, Stacy. Aaron. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. I probably missed it. That's okay. Setting mousetraps, literally. Put that peanut butter. Aaron, whatever mousetraps you put peanut butter. I guarantee you the micey will go to that peanut butter. Good job. UBG Vlogs. Hey, Denise, Aaron, and Laura. Hearts. UBG Vlogs laughing good. Laura, hey, Paula. Aaron, Stacy. Once your equity and money runs out, they toss you in Medicare facility. Yep, that's a disaster. Well, hopefully, again, let's stay positive. Most of us are not going to end in a Medicare facility. Most of us are going to end up either in the place we're at, if you have a home right now. If you're selling your home, you're going to end up either in a new home eventually, or you're going to end up in a rental eventually, or you're going to end up, in an RV eventually, or you're going to end up living with family eventually. Most of your life, you're not going to be in a Medicare facility, probably less than 1%. But fear says, let me think about the 1% of my life that I might be in a Medicare facility. And then you're going to waste 99% of your life when you're not in the Medicare facility. How do I know? Because my mind could be negative too. So I recognize how hard it is to resist fear. That's why I rebuked my man Darius, but I love him. I understand what Darius was saying. I feel, but we can't go down that road. Why? Because then your whole life you're already living in a Medicare facility. And again, I get it. And I even, I check myself sometimes because I get in that mind. So let's stay positive. Good job. UBG Vlogs. Did I leave you enough comments this morning? I loved them. They put a smile on my face. Why? Because I don't judge you. I don't try to control you. I reply to you, and I put a heart emoji, and I have my Starbucks, and I do what I need to do for me. And I say, I pray for you, though. I pray for everyone. Why? Because I think that we're all facing our own problems, but I think all of us have talents and gifts, and I believe in everyone. And so if we fall, we get back up, and it's all love. Early riser. Sam, at the grocery store today, I saw a customer arguing with cashier. It got really loud. Finally, customer turned and left. I looked at her shirt. It said, tonight's it's me, Netflix and fat pants. Look, the slogan on a shirt will say a lot about the mind and the body. Okay. The bumper sticker says a lot about the mind behind the passenger seat, behind the driver's seat. So, have I ever had a t-shirt that said something crazy on it? Yeah, when I was like 13, 14, I remember going to Atlantic City with my mom. I had on some t-shirt. It says something like, stupid or whatever. So we've all been immature, but some people stay immature. So what should you do? Go to the other checkout, man. Get the fuck away from them, man. Don't let them destroy your life. Denise, I never thought I needed this, but I asked my counselor for extra help from a social worker. Good job. She will be asking her supervisor if she can hook me up. Well, you better follow up. You better follow up. You better follow up. And then when you get your social worker, you better follow up with her. Because you're the 100th person on the list. And you know how you move up on the list? The diligent, the persistent widow gets her request in court. The lazy suffer, the persistence perseveres. Denise, you're on fire. Laura, if peanut butter does not work, get a piece of chicken. Peanut butter work, believe me. Stacy, nursery, I agree, Aaron. I've seen what's out there for my dad, and he makes over $2,000 a month. Not good. Well, what I can tell you is your dad probably has assets he put in your name, and you guys probably have family wealth, but it's a clusterfuck. So you're trying to figure out how you can get a coupon without losing all the money. So what I can tell you is this. Instead of trying to get a coupon, just resize your house and reorganize your life. That's the hard part. But if you keep a house too big and you got too much shit going on in your house, then yeah, just hide your assets and look for a cheap government facility. But most people got too much. I guarantee you, if I was your accountant, Stacy, and if I was your social worker, I would look up your social security number. I would see all your family's wealth. I would do a visit to your house unexpected. I would go through every fucking room. And then I would say, Stacy, what the fuck you shopping for a coupon for? Okay? And then you would say, and I say, yeah, all right. You know I'm Judge Judy on your ass. Laura, we have one birthday and one death day. And the rest is days to make choices of how we live. Laura, good job. Stacy, love that, Laura. Good job. Pull up. I was hoping that my crazy comments would put a big smile on your face. I appreciate them, and I don't call them crazy, just humorous. For a good story day, I appreciate that. And then Paul says, thank you, Laura. All right, guys and girls, I'm on my travel day. Why? Because I'm a nomad, trying to figure out if I want a home base. How much can I take? How much travel can I take? How much moving around? Or how much neighbors can I take? I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, we trying to figure it out. So, I hope my words help you. I hope my videos help you. I love you. If I hurt you, don't be upset. Just think about what I said. I'm not always right, but check yourself. And one day at a time. All right, guys and girls, I love you.